But I cannot see myself just spending $250 out of pocket for it, though.
Yeah.
Especially with Nintendo's history of, a year later releasing a much better
3DS2,
version
yeah.
cheaper. I've gotten screwed over so many times because of that. I'm kind of sick of it.
Yeah, I know. Next year they're going to have the 3DS2 where you get sucked into the game and it's actually like Nick Arcade.
So lost.
Captain N. Yes. Nick Arcade. The kids were always so bad at that game.
Because it was impossible. You were just standing in front of a blue screen.
Yeah, and you had to jump and try to skateboard and stuff.
These kids were bad on all the Nickelodeon game shows, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. Oh.
Yeah.
So frustrating. Watching from home. No, you don't put the head on top of the base of the silver monkey. What's wrong with you?
Stupid? I always thought that show was unfair. This is a game, by the way, so this is still on topic. We're talking about games. I always thought that show was unfair, though, because if they didn't feel like giving out a prize that day, they would just put temple guards in the rooms you have to go to. And they would do that. They'd be like, you have to go to this room. Oh, temple guard, sorry.
But if you had the amulet.
But you have to go to so many rooms. You have to go to
you have to have
3
a full
rooms.
amulet, too, because sometimes you only have half an amulet.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I am so lost right now. I'm not even...
Other video game news. The PSP 2 was announced last week.
What? Oh, yeah.
Or whatever it's called, the...
NGP?
Yeah.
I
don't know what
Next Generation Portable.
Oh, good job. I don't know what's real different about it or anything. I know it again is big and bulky.
NGP, isn't that the Neo Geo Pocket?
That's all I think when I hear it.
It has some cool stuff. It has motion controls because everything has to have those.
How is that possible?
Well, you tilt the system to do stuff, I guess.
Okay, I was gonna say you
screen anymore.
You wave it around like a magic wand.
But
it has that. It has a touch screen. It has a touch sensitive pad on the back of the system too.
Does it forcefully eject the CD?
It doesn't have CDs.
What?
No, they're going back to cartridges for this thing.
Oh, they're using a physical medium again?
Yeah, like little memory cards. I think they're referring to them, but I'm not sure what the difference between a memory card and DS cartridge is, to be honest.
Probably nothing.
No.
They got that. They also have multiple cameras on the front and the back of the system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A GPS, some sort of GPS thing inside.
Maybe they'll make augmented reality games, ones that are actually cool.
I mean, that would be awesome.
I do like the concept of those, but I don't like the reality of walking into streetlights and stuff and not watching where you're going.
I mean, it's cool that they'll be able to do stuff like that without you having to buy a separate camera to plug into the system, because it'll just have it right there. Anyway, so that's coming out at some point. That's coming out in Japan at the end of the year, I think.
Doesn't sound like a match for the Game Boy camera, though.
I actually have one of those.
I do somewhere in my basement.
Do you have the Game Boy printer, too?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But of course, the camera's worthless without it. And even then, it's of arguable value.
But personally, I was a little bummed out about the announcement because I just bought my PSP last month.
Yikes.
So I probably should have seen this coming because as soon as I get something like that, they announce the new one right after it. Happened with the DS too, I think. Jerks. So yeah, I don't know if they have any really super exciting games lined up yet. Killzone, Uncharted, Call of Duty, basically PSP versions of all the big PS3 titles, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. That was the big news last week. Okay, I'm going to actually say that it's about time to start wrapping this up.
It's been quite a podcast.
Before we get going, I have a few housekeeping things to take care of. Housekeeping, I believe, is the official podcast terminology that people use for this stuff. I don't know why, but every podcast I listen to, they always refer to what I'm about to talk about as housekeeping, so I'm going to go with it. Jetty, I want you to tell me if people have any comments about this show, about how much they love us or things they want to talk about, but not comments about how much they dislike us, because I don't really want to hear that. How can they get in touch with us?
They can email us at podcast@gamecola.net, or they can comment on the article on the website. Alternatively, if we post this on YouTube again, which I imagine that we will since it's been so amazingly successful, they can comment on the YouTube video. They can also like us on Facebook, and they can subscribe on iTunes.
So go like, subscribe, and be our video game pals.
Absolutely. And also, if you're listening on iTunes, rate us really, really high, because then we'll become famous. We have right now. I'm just gonna tell you right now. We have one review on iTunes. We've had it for about a year and a half.
Is it from
and
Michael
it was
Gray?
by a GameCola writer.
Yes.
So.
Do you have to download iTunes to make a review? Because I will, and I'll make a different name too, so we can pretend it's someone else.
Yeah, I don't know. You might be able to do it on iTunes website,
I'll try it.
but you probably have to have an iTunes account. And
Lame.
Right, so we got that. Twitter. Did anyone mention Twitter yet?
I did not.
We also have a Twitter account at GameCola. Facebook, YouTube. If you want to visit our YouTube page, it's just gc.net, the letters GC, and then the words .net. You might be already there listening to the podcast, but if you're not, you can go there, see some various videos that we've made, lots of video playthroughs of Phoenix Wright games. Willie Beamish playthrough upcoming. It's going to be great. Okay, actually, I think... Oh, and if you want to visit the actual GameCola website, if you're not doing that already.
Whoa.
Yeah. If you're not listening to this on the GameCola website, we have one, GameCola.net. We have hilarious video game reviews, columns, some comics every now and then. Lots of fun stuff. So check us out, GameCola.net. And I guess that's about it. Anyone have any final words for podcast number 34?
No.
Remember, everybody, if the women don't find you handsome, they'll at least find you handy.
Yikes.
Nobody got that. That's all
Nope.
right.
No.
Oh, yeah. Nobody here's Canadian, so I'm not surprised.
I'm very close to the Canadian border, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard it before, but I don't know where it comes from.
Red Green Show, but
My
that
dad
makes sense.
watches that.
yeah, it's a very
As
old
does
show.
mine.
It's on PBS here, but no.
Exactly.
I can't say I've seen it enough to really get references to it, other than duct tape.
Well, my old boss used to say that regularly, and he was Canadian, so... Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day in about a couple months.
Yeah. It's the 1st of July because they had to be before the 4th of July.
Yeah,
They
'cause we're
think they're
better.
so fancy.
Yeah, we are.
Always above us.
Also, I wanted to know, where are you guys? Where are you guys from? The United States? Just out of curiosity, is it Eastern? Where?
Oh, I think everyone who's in this podcast is from Eastern.
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
Florida.
I'm
Florida?
up in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
I'm in Connecticut, though. I'm originally from South Jersey. Yeah, so we're all on the East Coast, but in GameCola in general, people are from all over.
So they didn't have Legends of the Hidden Temple in Canada?
Well, they don't have
No,
Nickelodeon up there.
I've never heard of that show.
They don't have Nickelodeon?
They don't have Nickelodeon up there.
They must by
Well,
now.
Justin might be just the wrong age, too.
Yeah,
He's years younger than the rest of us, I think. Right, Justin?
I'm like,
You're college-aged.
yeah, I'm like
You're
19.
A
Plus,
So you
youngin.
might have missed it.
Plus, we did get like a Nickelodeon, but it was on cable, but it moved around so much up here in Canada that you never really knew which station it was on. It's almost like a guerrilla network where it just kept switching every 2 months, and you had to just spend an hour searching for it. But
Yes.
When I was little, when I wasn't playing video games, I was watching Nickelodeon. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
That was my life for 5 years.
Did you have Nickelodeon Games and Sports when it was around? That channel?
I didn't. I watched it at my brother's house, though, and I got really excited because I could watch Guts.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Guts.
Yeah.
The
You could
Crag.
even watch the old ones, before they really knew how to make game shows there, Make the Grade and Think Fast.
Wild and Crazy Kids.
I loved Wild and Crazy Kids.
Yes. Yeah, Nick Arcade.
And then I watched it again, and I wondered why.
Family Double Dare.
Nick Arcade was awesome, though, because they'd just flail around in front of a blue screen.
Wait, Jetty, they recorded this stuff in Florida. How come you were never on one of them?
Actually, okay, that was before I moved to Florida.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was 10 when I moved to Florida, and that was right when Nickelodeon was kind of heading out.
And now it's not even there anymore. It's so depressing.
Yeah.
yeah, I heard all that.
Yeah, but no, I did. Like, I was never on the show actually, but I was in the crowd a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, it was interesting because like you never really realize what goes on behind the scenes, and some girl was like showing off how her bird could do tricks, but it kept like not doing them.
Was that on Figure It Out?
So I don't remember what the show was anymore. Like I really don't. And